is doing is proving that whole countries can and should commit themselves to an inclusion agenda. And with these games, tennis championships, a global athlete congress, a board, international board meeting, the Dominican Republic is sending a message throughout Latin America, throughout Central and South America, throughout the Americas, throughout the world, that a country can place inclusion at the center of the agenda. Inclusion for children starting in early childhood, starting in healthcare services, starting in schools, starting in sports, and extending to employment and all dimensions of life. This country will be a better country as an inclusive country, and I think you've seen that from the President, from the First Lady, from the Minister of Sport, Ministers of Economic and Social Development, all gathered here to say this is our commitment. Well, we would love the chance to have other countries follow the Dominican Republic. We've met, of course, here with representatives of the First Lady of Guatemala, representatives from Honduras, representatives from the Panamanian government, and so on. So there's great interest in coming here to see what has been done already and what the agenda policy-wise is and practice-wise is going forward. Our hope is to continue to nurture attention to the Dominican example, but also to get countries to replicate it in their own ways back home. It's the first time we've ever had a global congress, an inclusive sports event, and a board meeting all at the same occasion. And so this is a very important, in the world of Special Olympics, this is an important turning point for us. This partnership, sports, athlete leadership, government, and policy change all together. This is the combination we're looking for around the world. Well, the biggest benefit is that sport teaches us with very low cost and for everybody. It teaches us how to overcome our fear of difference. A 4-year-old can play with another 4-year-old who has an intellectual disability. A 14-year-old, a 24-year-old, an 84-year-old, we can all play. It's a very easy experience to learn how to overcome the fear of difference and to become a person who's experienced inclusion. So sport is the gateway experience to inclusion. It teaches us all that we have the power to make a difference. And sport also motivates us, motivates everybody. All of a sudden we see with new eyes. And so after you've played unified tennis or unified basketball or unified swimming, you are more likely to become a person who welcomes people into your home. You're more likely, if you're a religious leader, to welcome them into your religious house of worship. You're more likely, if you're a business leader, to hire someone with an intellectual challenge. So all these benefits begin with sport and play and are translated into larger social change. The biggest difference, I think, is in leadership. You don't have to be a rich country, you don't have to be an American nation, you don't have to be European or African or Asian or Middle East. What we need is leaders. Leaders who have new eyes to see. Who see the bravery, who see the courage, who see the openness, who see the trust, who see the healing power of the athletes of Special Olympics. When we have leaders that see that, they take it and they run with it and they make a difference with it and they change whole communities. In this new era, Special Olympics is a movement not just for people with intellectual disabilities, but it's also a movement for everyone else, because the rest of the world can learn from the athletes of Special Olympics. The rest of the world can learn about how to heal division and how to heal anxiety and fear from the athletes of Special Olympics. This is the new frontier for us, to be a classroom for the whole world of how to build a more inclusive mindset and how a more inclusive world. I think historically the most important support we've received is from average citizens, honestly. It's people who volunteer their time, who maybe give $10 or $20, who bring their families. These are the people who have led the Special Olympics movement. It's not the big shots, honestly. It's not the CEOs. It's not the celebrities who have led the Special Olympics movement. It is the average person who sees the chance to make a difference and who gives of themselves generously in that effort. Millions and millions and millions of average people of countries, whether it's in China and India, it's big countries, or small countries, Moldova, Isle of Man, the DR, rich countries, poor countries, average people who say, I want to make a difference and I'm willing to join a mission larger than myself. I will volunteer for the athletes of Special Olympics. I will join their movement. Those are the people who have made a big difference. So we believe very strongly in volunteerism. We believe very much in the community leadership necessary to change a country. We believe in the bottom, changing the top, not the top, changing the bottom. We believe in the small, humble voices of average people, including our athletes, who, if we just stop to listen, have in many times the solutions to some of the world's most difficult problems. Well, I think one milestone was we wanted to be in over 170 countries. We're now in 172. The second milestone was we wanted to push the unified sports movement where people with and without intellectual disabilities play together on the same team. We wanted to get that over 1 million athletes. We're now over 1 million. A third milestone is we want to extend sport to 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, little children. So now we have hundreds of thousands of what we call young athletes. So we're going to the early childhood centers so that children have their earliest experience. If they go to daycare, if they go to kindergarten or pre-kindergarten, they go together with their peers. We want to have sports teams that are inclusive in every school in the world. So we've got a couple 100,000 in the queue, but we could have a lot of work to get to 3 million, but then again, it might go quickly. When the revolution starts and the momentum builds, maybe the schools will come to us by the hundreds of thousands in the years ahead. So these are all milestones. We have to work harder on employment. We have to work harder on health justice. We have to work harder on community living in many countries. But we're getting there, one step at a time. We're impatient, we're restless, we're not happy with where we are, but we're headed in the right direction. The future of this movement is to be the movement for inclusion in every community in the world. When people think of excluding in their family, in their job, in their business, in their village, in their town, in their street, in their heart, when they think maybe it's time to exclude, we want to be there. We want our athletes to be there saying, no, 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 choose to include, choose to include, choose to include. We make it as a planet, we make it as a human family when we choose to include. The alternative is destruction. It's not acceptable. We want to be everywhere as everyone's movement and teaches inclusion every day.